Coming up on Look Today, well, South Glens Falls High School prepares for the Capital Region's second biggest fundraiser. I've got details. And the Saratoga City Council passes a resolution to encourage ride-sharing services in Saratoga. More on that coming up. And the Lake George Community Band has donated $500 to the restoration of the Village Bandstand. I've got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson, and this is Look Today. Tonight's program, I sit down with Darryl Laurent. Now, he's the author of a book called Inspiration Street. We're joined by Kathy Naftali. She's a director of the Crandall Public Library in Glens Falls. And they're here to talk about the book and Black History Month events happening at the library. Plus, I sit down with Elizabeth Sobel. She's the president of the Saratoga Performing Arts Center, and she's here to talk about the 2017 classical season in part 2 of my interview with her. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, the Capital Region's second biggest fundraiser will happen again March 3rd and 4th. You guessed it, it's the South Glens Falls Marathon Dance, and it's organized by the students of the school. Now, this year's dance will be in honor of the late trooper Timothy Pratt. We spoke to Jessie Stewart. She's the chairperson of the South High Marathon Dance.
I love that the community gets together to do this for everyone, and all the students really pitch in and get together and get involved. It's really a great experience.
Now, the funds raised will go to 40 different recipients. Now, last year the dance, you ready, raised over $700,000. Here's a nice footnote. Since its inception, which I think was in 1977, the event has raised over $5 million. Well, we spoke to Kevin Middleton. He's a chairperson about giving back to the community.
Well, it's different because, this year is our 40th year, the 40th anniversary, and we actually have 40 recipients. Picked by our own student body. It's a lot. It's homegrown, I should say, because there's a lot of the recipients are actually from South Glens Falls.
Sidebar here. I first moved here a dozen years ago. I was invited to go see this marathon dance, and I got news for you. These kids never turn back. It's really quite an event, and like I said, the second biggest fundraiser in the Capital District. In other news, well, there's a lot of discussion concerning the ride-sharing service being introduced to upstate New York region. And recently, Governor Cuomo unveiled his plan to permit ride-hailing companies to operate outside of New York City. Well, last night, the Saratoga City Council met to discuss whether Saratoga should support this kind of service. Well, the council voted 4-1 in favor of passing a resolution in support. Commissioner McTeason cast the only dissenting vote, and Mayor Joanne Yepsen spoke on the issue.
What I would like to say is that the state senate did actually vote on this today, and they did approve one version of it. It's slightly different than what the governor is approving or is advancing. So this will next go to the assembly. So my intention, if this passes tonight, is to send this down to the governor's office and our state legislators to ensure that they know where Saratoga Springs stands.
And a reminder here, you can watch the entire Saratoga City Council meeting right here on Look TV. Check our website, looktvonline.com for the schedule. And Mayor Joanne Yepsen will be a guest for an interview later on this week, right here. Switching from news to weather. Well, today saw a surge of warm weather with temperatures increasing into the 40s again. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. Well, it looks like we're going to still see some more snowfall in the forecast over the next 24 hours as another system has been making its way across portions of the Ohio Valley right now and streaming on in across the Northeast as we go throughout the overnight hours of tonight. But still, high pressure has been weakly in control. That's going to allow that cloud cover to slowly fill back in as we head through the evening hours before some more moisture pushes in. It'll be another cold one. Temperatures across the board in the single digits and teens. Thankfully, not quite the single digits, at least until you factor in the wind chill here. 18 degrees for the overnight hours. Cloudy, cold, chances some light snow showers with us, and as we head in the daytime tomorrow, a little bit more significant snowfall. So some slick spots as the snow likely set in, say about 5 a.m., push in and out in time by about say 10 or even the noontime hour, but an inch or two of snowfall likely. High 23, and those north winds still come screaming in between 10 to 20 miles an hour. So we'll see a steady cold day, especially starting out the morning. We'll see temperatures actually falling to about 18 degrees by 9 a.m. We'll see that light snow continuing on over the next few days. We're going to see that very cold air hanging around, morning lows in the single digits both Friday and Saturday. Friday morning 7-9 degrees Saturday, but temperatures do come back up again as we head into the weekend. We'll start to see that rainfall moving in on Sunday, high 37. We'll push up to near 40 degrees for the daytime high Monday. Well, that's it from the Weather Center. Now let's get back to you, Jesse.
Thanks, Brian. Well, we can only hope we'll actually get some snow this winter, right? Back to the news. Members of the Lake George Community Band have donated $500 to the restoration of the village bandstand. Now, the village also received a $25,000 donation from the Charles R. Wood Foundation. The village will also raise an additional $25,000. They hope to do it by June 1st. We spoke to Mayor Robert Blaze about the donation.
Each year, the Shepherd Park Amphitheater hosts over 60 different attractions, all free to the public, and it's really become a focal point of entertainment here in the North Country. So we're kicking off a campaign. The Wood Foundation has challenged us to raise $25,000 by June 1st, and if we do, they'll match it. And the community band has put their first step forward and said, Mayor, we'll kick off your campaign with a contribution of $500.
Up next, I sit down with Darrell Laurent. He's an author of a book called Inspiration Street, and we're joined by Kathy Naftali. She's a director for Crandall Public Library in Glens Falls, and they're here to talk about the book and Black History Month events happening at the library. Plus, I also sit down with Elizabeth Sobel. She's the president of the Saratoga Performing Arts Center, and she's here to talk about the 2017 classical season in part 2 of my interview with her. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got a couple of lookouts tonight. The first one goes to Mike and John Munter. Munter Enterprises is a major construction company in our region, and Mike and John have very generously decided to support the series of nonprofit interviews that we do here every day on Look TV. It's really very generous of them. So Mike and John Munter. Also, I want to remind you that this February is Black History Month. And that interview you saw today with that author of the book Inspiration Street is one in a series of interviews we're going to be doing over the next weeks, just to highlight some of the achievements. Black History Month. And last but not least, a lookout goes to Brian Dorn. He's a viewer. Brian, you know who you are. Brian comments frequently on our website about stories and things that we do here on Look TV. And encourage everybody, go to our website, tell us what you think. Good or bad, we don't care. But Brian, thanks a lot for your comments. We appreciate it. Tonight on Look TV, it's a Saratoga City Council meeting. It's a new one. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.